Hello everyone and welcome back. So we have started the unit endocrinology and we have discussed the hormones. Today the hormone that we will be discussing are parathyroid hormones. Okay, so what is the source of parathyroid hormones? These are chief cells of the parathyroid glands. The chief cells that are present in the parathyroid glands secrete the hormones, parathyroid hormones. Okay, now what are the functions of the parathyroid hormones? That it increase calcium in the blood, free calcium in the blood. It increases free calcium in the blood and decrease and phosphate absorption in the GI system. The parathyroid hormones increase the absorption of calcium and phosphates in the GI system. Also, it increases the calcium and phosphates bone resorption. Also, it increases the resorption of calcium from distal convoluted tubule and decrease the absorption of phosphates from the proximal convoluted tubule. Also, the parathyroid hormone increase 125 hydroxy D3 calcitriol production by activating 1 alpha hydroxylase in proximal convoluted tubule and try to make D3 in the proximal convoluted tubule. Okay, so simply we have discussed the functions of the parathyroid hormones, that what it do. It increase the calcium absorption and decrease the phosphates absorption in the GI system. Now the calcium absorption is increased in the blood by parathyroid hormones, then its absorption in the GI is increased by the parathyroid hormone. Also, the phosphate absorption in GI system is increased by the parathyroid hormone. Then the calcium and the phosphate resorption from bone is increased by parathyroid hormone. Then the absorption of calcium from distal convoluted tubule is increased by parathyroid hormone, and the decrease of resorption of phosphate from proximal convoluted tubule is done by parathyroid hormones. Also, the 125 hydroxy D3 calcitriol production by activating 1 alpha hydroxylase in PCT is proximal convoluted tubule is done by parathyroid hormone. These are the normal functions of the parathyroid hormones. Okay, now regulation, how parathyroid hormones are regulated in the blood. So whenever the serum calcium decrease, parathyroid hormone secretion increase. Whenever the phosphates increase, the parathyroid hormone secretions increase. Whenever the magnesium decrease, parathyroid hormone secretion increase. Whenever the serum magnesium decrease, then the parathyroid hormone secretion decrease. Now, what are the common causes that decrease the serum magnesium? These are diarrhea, use of the alcohol, diuretics, aminoglycosides. These are the disorders in which the magnesium decrease in the blood. So, when magnesium decrease in the blood, then parathyroid hormone decrease. When the serum calcium decrease in the blood, parathyroid hormone increase. As the function of parathyroid hormone is the production of calcium or absorption of calcium and the reabsorption of calcium from the distal convoluted tubule. So if the calcium decrease, parathyroid hormone increase. If the phosphates increase, then parathyroid hormone also increase, as it decrease the absorption of phosphates or in the body. Means parathyroid hormone tries to get rid of the phosphates and to collect the calcium in the blood. Okay, so this was the normal regulation process of the parathyroid hormone. Now here are the clinical notes of parathyroid hormone. So parathyroid hormone increase serum calcium, it decrease serum phosphates, and it increase the urine phosphates, that is increase urine in cyclic AMP. Now how protein resorption signals occur. So here we are having the rank L. This sentence is that increased rank L receptor activator of NF-kB ligand secreted by osteoblast and osteocyte binds rank and osteoclast and their precursors to stimulate osteoclast and increase calcium. What is the concept of this sentence? This sentence is packed, but it's actually describing one clean idea, that how parathyroid hormone controls bone breakdown and formation through signaling between bone cells. Okay, now what are the cells that are using here? These are osteoblasts, osteoclasts, and osteocytes. These are the three cells. So osteoblast build bone, osteoclast breakdown bone, and osteocytes mature bone. Now the key signal for these three cells is rank L, which is the protein itself, receptor activator of NF-kB ligand. This is the receptor activator of NF-kB ligand. So what it does, it is a protein and it is made by osteoblast and osteocytes. Okay, it is not present in osteoclast. This is present only in osteoblast, which form bone, and osteocyte, which mature the bone. So it is present in these two cells. Let's use this page. Okay, osteoblast, osteoclast, and osteocytes. So bone formation, osteoclast bone breakdown, and osteocyte bone maturation. And rank L is a protein. It is made by this osteoblast and osteocyte. Now what does rank L do? Now these osteoclast cells, this does not form the rank L, but it has a receptor for rank L, which is called rank. Okay. Okay, whenever this rank L comes, this rank L from osteoblast and osteocyte come and attach to this rank receptor on osteoclast, so it leads to the bone breakdown. Okay, whenever the rank L attached to rank, it activates the osteoclast, and as a result, the bone breakdown or bone resorption occur. Bone resorption. Whenever the bone resorption occur, as a result, calcium is released in the blood, as bone contain calcium. So whenever the rank L from the osteoclast and osteocyte attached to osteoclast, it activates the rank. The rank activates the osteoclast cell, and the bone resorption started. And as a result, the blood calcium increase. Now, what is the role of parathyroid hormone in all this procedure? So, parathyroid hormone does not directly act on osteoclast. Parathyroid hormones act on osteoblast. These are the osteoblast cells. This contain the rank L. So the parathyroid hormone activate this rank L. This from the osteoblast, this rank L goes to the osteoclast and attaches to the rank and activate osteoclast. Also, the parathyroid hormone decrease the OPG, which is the blocker of rank L. So parathyroid hormone directly increase the rank L and decrease the OPG, a blocker of rank L. So this is continuous versus intermittent PTH. Whenever continuous PTH occur, high levels of PTH are there. So as a result, rank L increase, osteoclast activity increase, and if the osteoclast activity increase, then it increases bone breakdown and calcium in blood is increased. This all phenomena is seen in hyperparathyroidism. Okay, in hyperparathyroidism, the parathyroid hormone increase. It increase the rank L production from osteoblast. The rank L goes to the rank on osteoclast and activate it, and the osteoclast as a result leads to the bone breakage and bone reabsorption, and as a result calcium is increased in the blood. So we say that the calcium is increased in the hyperparathyroidism. This is all the phenomena or concept background of this topic. Now we can put the whole sentence in simple words that osteoblast and osteocytes release rank L. Rank L activates osteoclast. Osteoclast breakdown, calcium increases in the blood. But if PTH is given intermittently, it actually helps build bone instead. Okay, whenever the PTH is given intermittently means the pulsatile is low, doses are low, then it helps in the formation or buildup of bones. So the easy memory trick for to remember this concept is that remember the rank L for removing bone signal. PTH continues breakdown. PTH continuous do the breakdown of the bone, and PTH intermittent make the bone. Okay, PTH continuous. This is abnormal, and this break the bone. But if this PTH is given in intermittent and low doses pulsatile in accurate form, then this leads to the bone formation. So this was all about the parathyroid hormones. This is the parathyroid hormone activity. These are the parathyroid glands. The cells here present release the parathyroid hormone into the circulation. So it also helps in the vitamin D activity, that is converted 25 hydroxy D3 to 125 hydroxy D3, which is the active form, and it leads to the bone. And it goes to the bone and intestine and increase absorption of calcium of phosphates in the intestine, and its absorption also in the bone. As a result, the calcium and phosphates increases. So this is the normal phenomena of the parathyroid hormone. Also, PTH released into circulation renal tubules and increase 125 hydroxy desynthesis. It leads to reabsorption of calcium and decrease of phosphate, and increase the secretion of urine in calcium in urine, increase the phosphates of the release of phosphates in the proximal convoluted tubule. So simply the parathyroid hormone reabsorb the calcium and phosphates from the GI and the bone, and also the PTH increase the calcium absorption from the kidneys, that is the proximal and distal convoluted tubule, and secrete the phosphates in the urine. Whenever there is the decreased calcium and increased phosphate, so this regulates the parathyroid hormone secretion. If calcium is decreased, feedback mechanism occur and PTH increase. Also, if the phosphates are increased and PTH increase, and if the serum magnesium is decreased, also PTH increase. Feedback inhibition. Okay, whenever there is the 125 hydroxy D3 present, so it does the feedback inhibition of the parathyroid hormone synthesis. Whenever this is in more amount in the body, then this gives the feedback and the parathyroid hormone secretion decrease. So this was all about the